Boom, we're live. Welcome back to Do News. I'm your host, the King of Do, and so happy to have you here today. And got some great news for you guys, and we're going to get right to it right now. All right, and we're back. Hey, I'm glad to have you guys here today, and we're going to jump right into this. We're not even going to wait around for anyone to join. Just going to record this one live and get through the news. We got a lot to cover today. Coinbase making the announcement about ERC20 token support. This is a big deal, obviously, for essentially the biggest exchange here in North America for people to turn their fiat into some type of cryptocurrency. Currently offering just a few coins such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, let's see, Bitcoin Cash. Yes, that is the other one. And not really much else. So, however, massive volume. And definitely want to keep your eyes peeled on this one as it develops. They're basically stating that they're waiting for some regulation feedback as to which coins they're going to offer, because a lot of news is coming out of the government about securities versus utility tokens and things of that nature. And obviously the taxes are different on those, and they need to know how to report those and create the automation systems that function properly to handle the amount of volume that's being done on the exchange. Now, all that being said, when can I finally put my money into Coinbase? There's been rumors for quite a while about a initial public offering. I tell you what, I'll be putting some money in that. I don't care if you like them or not. The first mover advantage is massive. Coinbase was just featured on the intro to Silicon Valley, the HBO show that's kind of gone viral. Great show, hilarious, especially if you're into this type of technology. I'm sure you would very much enjoy it. And so big things with Coinbase now. They're really getting a brand reputation out there. And could they be the JP Morgan of the new era of banking, this new tokenized economy? That remains to be seen. However, the first mover advantage gives them quite an edge, just like many of the banks that have been around for a very, very long time. They all started somewhere, and they started at the beginning, and that gave them a huge advantage. If you're a business, who do you want to work with? You want to work with a bank that just showed up on the block, or the one that's been doing it for a few decades? And so huge news coming out of Coinbase as they continue to grow and develop. And Lord only knows what their cash flow looks like with how much trading goes on. I'm sure it's a cash cow, and with good business practices, I'm sure that there's some good margins there. Hopefully they would have a dividend on their stock offering, and I can sign up for that. I'd like to start diversifying a little bit better into the private sector in regards to those in and around the blockchain space, and you may want to as well. I got some people kind of trickling in here. Not too many people. Definitely busy on a Monday. Monday is not always the best day for me to do videos statistically, but I want to welcome you guys into chat. Go ahead and say hello and pound and smash that like button for me. There's nothing that helps the channel more than that. Appreciate it so much. Moving on, LitePay is out of business. This is a setback and an embarrassment a little bit for the Litecoin community, and they address it very well, essentially stating that it's kind of on them. They should have done better due diligence. LitePay is basically out of business, moving on. And so all this news about LitePay and Litecoin and that partnership is basically terminated and over, and there's nothing going to happen there. So kind of a little bit of a setback. Now, this is just one business among, I don't know how many there are in the world now, maybe 1 billion businesses. Just one. So it's not a huge blow by any means, but slightly embarrassing with the amount of hype that's been built around it, and really unnecessary hype. I never could really quite understand why people thought it was such a big deal. It just seemed like another just payment platform and nothing more than that. So people definitely hyped it up, and because it got hyped up, obviously this is likely to get hyped up and kind of get pushed around. You'll probably hear and see about this. People will probably turn it into FUD, and people will try to bash the price maybe, but we'll have to just wait and see. Sorry about that. Got a little bit of a cough. Got some more people coming in. Hey guys. All right. moving on again. So we were talking in the Telegram. If you haven't joined our Telegram, down below in the description, you will find a link to our Telegram. And just yesterday, we were talking about ZRX protocol, and people wanted me to give some feedback on what I thought about it. And I realized it was something that I kind of wanted to talk about on the channel, but it was difficult for me to identify how the best way to explain the tokenomics of the token. And so I went ahead and headed over to Reddit and got one of the best responses about how a ZRX protocol token essentially has a value and how it may gain value. And so giving a huge shout out to Dormage, who actually left this. He got a lot of upvotes for it too, which is fantastic. I'll throw in one there for you guys. Fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. So this is a ZRX protocol token. All right. So I'll go ahead and read it. Well, if you want to understand the potential, you have to be able to imagine the future of crypto. A bunch of tokens coming out every day is making the market fragmented to the point where users cannot follow which token is for what purpose, platform, or dApp. ZRX is the protocol that will solve those issues by trading and converting tokens on the fly once there's enough liquidity. Basically, liquidity is there's enough money moving freely and it's easy to do mediums of exchange, as basically the concept is I have something and somewhere in the world someone wants that something at that exact moment, or almost the exact moment. So a lot of liquidity. Users will be able to hold tokens of their choosing, and when the need arises to spend their tokens for utilizing a platform for dApp services, the dApp can automatically exchange their token to the native token. Exchanges will provide liquidity for that to happen quick. The protocol will make it seamless and trustless. That's great. Now, in a world of dApps and tokens, the protocol needs to evolve and be developed to adapt to the needs of the decentralized applications and services. The ZRX token will be the governance token. Platforms and exchanges using ZRX protocol will be able to vote and voice their opinion on where the protocol needs to go in terms of development. Stakeholders will feel the need to accumulate ZRX in order to secure their interest in the protocol they are using and not let other development be governed by a single decentralized application or exchange. Hence the future, we might see more exchanges pick up fees in form of ZRX tokens so that they can secure their stake in the underlying protocol they use to do their business. As the protocol adoption grows, so will the reserves in ZRX held by the stakeholders, consequently decreasing the effective circulating supply. The rest is pretty straightforward, supply-demand. All right. So that was a pretty good response. Hey, Dennis Turk in the house with the super chat. That is awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you stopping by. I haven't seen Dennis in a little bit. I hope, Dennis, you've been stopping by Telegram to say hi. We appreciate you over there as well. You're an awesome dude. Really appreciate you supporting the channel and my family. It means a lot to me. And got a couple other people in here now. Got Jason Manor. Hey, dude, if you get the chance, can you explain trader calls, new to crypto world and looking for a basic understanding? Oh, great. Yeah, we were talking about trade calls in the Telegram. If you're not new, if you are new, you don't know what trade calls are. Essentially, you can sign up for groups. Usually they're paid groups. They're usually not free. And people will essentially, a trading expert, ideally it's an expert, with a proven track record of trading well. He or she will typically allow a certain amount of people to pay them to enter in with them and conduct trades at certain points in time. So when they see a good opportunity to buy and sell, etc. Now, the really good ones will actually be more of a coach. They will actually teach you strategy. It's not as simple as you just go buy. Anyone who is doing trade calls that is simply saying buy this right now, that is extremely sketchy, extremely pump and dump-esque, and not something that you likely can have a lot of confidence in. Now, can you make a quick buck? Maybe. Yes, it's plausible. You go and, make a quick buck, but at the same time, you could be holding some big bags. That's actually why a lot of trader groups limit, the legitimate ones will limit how many people can join, because if too many people join and there's too much money, it'll affect the price in a short-term way that isn't right. It's very market manipulative, and manipulating markets could send you to jail, of course. But that aside, it really can actually legitimately mess up the technicals for traditional supply demand if too many people are all buying at once. And we see proof of that when we see pump and dumps. There is legitimate proof in the marketplace. So a trader call service essentially is like that. A legitimate one is going to be educational. It's going to teach you how to trade. It's going to teach you how to strategize your buying and your selling, because it's not as simple as just buy now. There actually is very good principles about setting up your buying and your selling. So, and there's a whole lot more you can learn as well. And a good coach will also help you through emotions. I think that emotions are what gets the best of everyone in trading. If you haven't been trading before and you haven't dealt with those emotions or haven't realized them, you probably have a long ways to go. What's interesting is that money in particular evokes extremely strong emotions, more than most other things in the world. You just got to learn how to deal with some of those emotions over time in the markets. And so if you haven't been active in the markets, if you haven't invested money and things like that, the goal at the end of the day is to remove 100% of the emotion. That is your ultimate goal. And that's almost impossible because you and I are human and we have emotions by nature. And so attempting to make everything as binary as possible, creating systems and processes for yourself, whether you're using Excel files or maybe you have a friend that keeps you accountable, things of that nature, anything you can do to try to keep everything as strict as possible with your strategies going into your trading is going to lead you to have better success. We're not talking about day trading and all that fun stuff here. I'm talking about traditional buying when it's a good deal and selling when it's overpriced. And there's a lot of things you can learn as far as technical analysis along the way. That's really fun and exciting. But at the end of the day, I hope that that explanation helps you understand what we're talking about when we talk about trade calls. A lot of people out there doing them. I have a few that I like. I'll talk about them in the Telegram. I don't really like to come out and just start talking about it on YouTube and things like that, because not everyone here is here for that. Most people are here for the news. So I'm going to jump into the next piece of news. Stellar Lumens has been confirmed to be the bridge asset. An IBM VP basically came out and confirmed that. And so now we actually can go ahead and say with confidence that Stellar Lumens is moving forward and doing some legitimate partnerships in the private sector. I can already tell you that I'm more excited about this one partnership with Stellar Lumens than all the partnerships that Ripple has. Just saying. IBM has been a leader in blockchain. They've been hiring blockchain developers and things of that nature for a few years now. So actively developing and creating new opportunities, creating new value, and IBM is doing all the right things to take advantage of the new economy headed our way. So extremely excited about that. Went and checked to see if this spiked anything in the price. Does not appear so. However, these things can sometimes take a little while to really manifest as the bull or the bullish news just takes a little bit of time to kind of eat away at the bears. And oftentimes the bears aren't aware of the news quite yet, and they start removing their positions, and maybe we'll see a quick little increase here. So we're going to head over to CoinMarketCap for your guys' daily market update. All right, Bitcoin going about 3%, just kind of moving sideways here. Despite it looking like it's very much down, it's actually rebounded quite nicely and very quickly at that, back up to 8,200. That hard rebound is a good indicator as we continue to consolidate on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one to watch. If you've not been an investor in the space very long, you need to be watching Bitcoin. Sorry about my dog. Chewbacca's crying. He wants to get out of the office. Bitcoin is the one to watch. It is the leading indicator for all things that are, yet to come in regards to alts. So as you guys can see in the 1 month here, we're starting to really move sideways very nicely and starting to consolidate. And if we move out to 1 year, you can see that there, without me even drawing a line, I'll bring it up a little higher for you and try to zoom in a bit. Without even drawing any lines on here, you can kind of see that there's a pattern here moving across the side here. Sorry, my dog is just distracting me. But you can kind of see that it's still up. In fact, I think we're up, I think I read we're still up about 250% from a year ago. So if you bought Bitcoin a year ago, you're still doing really good. Got nothing to complain about being up 250%. That's more than some people do in a lifetime in the stock market. So stop crying and just be thankful for what you've been given. And with that being said, though, you can still see that volume is really nice compared to a year ago. So there's still a lot of activity in the space compared to where we were 1 year ago. A year ago, Ripple was about 2 pennies right now. Keep that in mind. And look at where Ripple is at now. Obviously, it's been getting wrecked as of late, and at least with the price. But still, if you bought it at 2 pennies, you're not going to complain much. So anyhow, what's happening right now, though, is a very critical moment. And you guys need to be aware of it. That's happening within the next week. The most important thing to be aware of is that there is a very long-term average that is about to diverge with the short-term bear market that we're in. So we can all agree we're in a bear market, and you can see here that the peaks almost form a nice little line that's headed downward. But if you look over the course over the last year, you can see that there's a very strong movement upwards. Sorry, man, my dog. I'm going to kill him. You can see that there's a very strong movement upwards. And right here, they're about to collide. And that collision is forecasted to happen within the next week. That is such a critical moment, guys. We are either going to bounce off of it and continue to move upward in this upward bull trend that we've been in for over a year. And really, if we go even to all time, you can see that it's still upward. In fact, the reason it's so critical is because there's this technical analysis that you can do that essentially shows kind of like this exponential growth happening that's kind of leading upwards. You can kind of see how this is ramping up like this. Well, what if I told you that this isn't the real ramp up, but this is like the first peak of this little peak right here, and maybe this is the first pullback? If that's the case, that means that over the next 2 years, we're going to see an amount of volume and adoption and growth that will leave people in awe, completely just in awe. They won't know what to even say about it other than there'll be lots of regret. And so anyhow, don't know if that will happen. We all want it to happen. We want to believe that will happen, right? But as far as long-term trends are extremely important to technical analysis traders and institutional investors. They use these charting analysis to invest big money and to understand what's going on in the market. They also use it to identify when they can manipulate the market best. So these things are very real. These aren't like made up things, and people learn technical analysis because it's proven to work. It takes a lot of education, a lot of discipline, a lot of painful learning, financial pain in learning, but it's a very real thing. So I do encourage you guys to learn those things because it can take a lifetime to really digest all of it and become good at it. And I'm not telling you this because I'm any good at it. I'm telling you this because I know people who are. And those people have invested the time and money and energy to do it, and now they're quite successful and do very well at it. So that all being said, this next week, critical for Bitcoin as we run into this divergence of, are we going to continue this long-term bull market that started well over a year ago, or are we going to completely collapse back down and actually continue the bear market? Are we going to disprove all of the growth and adoption that we've had over the last year? My bet is no. Everyone can bet their own way, but I have a hard time believing that the amount of people in the adoption over the last year are going to lead us back down to where we were before. Also, if you're looking at the volume from 1 year ago, the volume is anywhere from 5 to 10 times as much on a given week. So that's where we're at with the Bitcoin markets right now and where I think we're headed. The That's only what I believe. This isn't financial advice. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Don't go spend your money. Everything's red today, looking pretty red. We have, the only thing that stuck out today is Verge. If anyone has any information on why Verge is popping, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I've got some new coins kind of moving up. Got ONT moving up at 23%. Huge jump. And ZRX doing really, really nice. Some of you may want to go take a look at that just because we talked about it today on this particular channel. And basic attention token doing quite well. They've been having a lot of positive news lately. Very surprising news at that. And Golem, a little bit green there. So anyhow, guys, pretty much a red day. Pretty traditional, but it's very interesting. This trend has continued. We talked about it in some other videos, that every single day, whether it's red or green, there's been about 3 to 5 altcoins that are seeing some double-digit gains. Why is that? Don't know. Are whales accumulating? Is there legitimate fundamentals? I'm not seeing the legitimate fundamentals. Maybe they're getting ready to go for a run. Maybe they're just collecting to get ready to go. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Anyhow, that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot of questions today, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. Keep this one nice and simple for you, quick and easy. I appreciate you guys all being here. Again, I am the King of Do. If you haven't been here before and you enjoyed this content, make sure you subscribe down below. Hit that little bell and you'll get reminded about when I go live. Make sure you leave a comment. If you have any questions or anything you want to contribute, leave a comment below and help the conversation keep going for when the next person arrives. Also, you're also always invited to our Telegram channel, and there is a link in the description to that as well. If you're on Steemit, I love Steemit. I hope you love Steemit. If you haven't signed up for Steemit, make sure you sign up for Steemit. There's a link down below to where I post on Steemit, and a lot of you like to support my channel in that way as well, and that is a fantastic way to do it. And basically, you and me get rewarded every time you upvote me, just like you would like something on Facebook. You like it on Steemit, and we both get rewarded in cryptocurrency. If you want some free cryptocurrency, go check it out. It's basically free. I mean, it's almost free. You just have to click your mouse on the up button, and you get some Steemit. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming by. Had a good time and covered some good news today, and I hope that you enjoyed the content as well. And with that being said, as always, I am the King of Do, and may the Force be with you.